Hey everyone, my name is Kumo and this is my reaction to the 12th and final episode of Houseki no Kuni, or Land of the Lustrous. Ah, man, the final episode. I'm really gonna miss this series when it's gone. Like, when I watched the first episode, my response to it was kind of lukewarm. I wasn't completely sold on it yet, partly because I wasn't sure how I felt about Faust as a character, and partly because it was just a very unique series, and it took a while for me to really have an opinion settled on it, but the more episodes I watched, the more and more I fell in love with it, until before I knew it, I was very invested in this show, and just really look forward to it every week. And now, it's going to end, pretty much. I know this is an adaptation of an of an ongoing manga, so I assume it's fairly popular. I mean, reaction videos seem to get a lot of views. I don't know how much of an indication that is on, Blu-ray sales and all that, but I like to have a positive attitude on that. So hopefully it does well. Hopefully it gets a second season. Because this is an adaptation of an ongoing manga, I'm not expecting a super conclusive ending, but hopefully we get something that's satisfying. So something that where if we do never get a second season, it's not too heartbreaking, So let's get into it. Let us begin in 3, 2, 1, play. I just realized I forgot to actually do any recapping of the previous episode. But yes, they were successfully able to bring back Rutiel's old partner. It's really that scary, folks. I mean, I thought you knew this person. And you already knew you're all immortal beings. Yeah. I'm sure it was a great nap. Jeez. I guess that beauty sleep really paid off. Man, those numbers are so large, it's really hard to... I'm sure Rutiel thought a lot about what she would say to her when she finally woke up. Wow. She's come a long way since then. In more ways than one. Well, most of her original body is gone at this point. Yeah, but head pats make them better. You have no idea. It's been a long 11 episodes. You okay there, Rutiel? Is it time for your several hundred-year nap? New work. Atarashi shigoto. I can actually read that Japanese. Yeah, not winter, where only sadness happens, really. Are we not getting an opening? I kind of hoping we would, so I'd have an opportunity to do a little bit of recapping the last episode, but it's fine. Yeah, not really. He told her not to go to the sea, and she went to the sea. Yeah, Faust wants answers. Because there still is a lot we don't know about them. And at the same time, everyone but Kongo also does not know. Yeah, you can't unknow something. Unless you break off some more pieces of yourself, I guess. But man, this got ominous quickly. Pat Parashia, you've slept enough. Hopefully it wasn't just like a temporary awakening. That'd be really sad. What's up, Zircon? Oh, are you teaming up with Board? I guess they really are taking that whole everyone should team up with Board at least once thing to heart. But again, how does Daya feel about that? Which is something everybody else already knew. And just kind of accepted. Those eyes really are beautiful. Foes, you're gonna get taken over pretty soon here. If only we saw the in-between there. Well, I could have told you that. Well, your biggest problem is that you're not Daya. Oh man, if everyone teams up with Board, the school's gonna have some serious self-esteem issues. Jesus, that is creepy. Just the way she was walking, running, crawling. She's not really not. And when she does talk, you kind of wish she wouldn't. Understandable. Oh no, you haven't got a whole lot of screen time. Jeez. That's a little bit dark. Yeah. So really, Board not talking is a good thing. It means you have nothing to complain about. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got her to talk to you. Well, she was for a little bit. So I guess it really was a temporary thing. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have said that. So that's what they're doing. We'll see how that goes. Do they really? You did it again, Rutil. Rutil. You really are one of the best characters. Yeah. She probably wouldn't, but don't jinx it. I don't think there's a lot of room in there. You're so silly, Diamond. Yellow Diamond. It's a good thing these people are immortal, or that would take a while. I was waiting for some kind of response from Alex. Well, most of your memories are gone. But just science and stuff. Little Fos. Houseki no Kuni prequel when... She really is, isn't she? Eventually, but she has to go through a lot first. And now, modern Fos. Oh, okay. Apparently it's test time. Basically. Alex lives for this stuff, so... well, this is his school, so... Alex Sensei. Is it recess time yet? I don't think they've even spoken, have they? Now that I think about it, the Jellyfish Queen was kind of talking to them, wasn't she? Sort of. Man, we really are getting some insight in Alex this episode. Well, that completely changes how I look at that character. But it does explain a lot, like her reactions to seeing them. And yeah, this is what folks have been waiting for. I mean, it makes me think we're going to get some Cinnabar this episode. You telling me you didn't bring your sword? Frickin' Fos. I mean, it's a good thing you are pretty broken as a character, but still, a sword would be helpful. Even Bort uses a sword. Hopefully she doesn't need it, or this could be very bad. Oh, jeez. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Almost making me feel bad for the Lunarian. Oh. Well, we got something out of her. It's... I don't know. But yeah, their Cinnabar would have been slightly more surprising without the... And man, she's still choking her out. Though it does seem counterproductive to choke someone who's trying to get to speak. But yeah. What? Yeah, yeah, that thing you were promised to do in like episode 1 or 2. I think 1. That really would be such a cool ability. And man, that is beautiful. It's like desktop wallpaper worthy. Are we sure that wasn't live action there? Cinnabar's music's always so sad. And yep, Fos is there. I figured that's why they were showing her entire climbing process, that Fos is going to be at the top, and she just runs away. I love the look on her face, too. Nothing good ever happens when I'm with you, Fos. That was so silly. This should be good. Yeah. Cinnabar can't believe what she's hearing. She's been trying very hard not to get her expectations up, but right there you could tell they were up. Sometimes you gotta take what you can get. I think most things are better than what you're currently doing. Man. Oh, jeez. Man, I think we finally got the Dara of the Tsundere. But man, I was actually getting chills from that. Well, it's better than walking around alone at night hoping to be captured by Lunarians. But I guess it's a matter of opinion. You're kind of melting there, Fos. Yeah, you already said you loved him, so I'm not sure what you think you could do. Yeah, Cinnabar is pretty great. Of course, it was pretty obvious that Fos and Cinnabar would be partners at some point. Yeah, that's how it goes. But man, does she look determined. and she returned to her fetal position. I'm sure foes can bring down those walls. Cinnabar. They're using the replicas as pillows. You know, Red Barrel may not get a lot of screen time, but when she does, she gets a lot of animation. I knew it was coming. I hate it so much. Yeah, I didn't get to see the real things, but she gets a replica, so it's fine. The only screen time she got this episode. Not that I'm salty or anything. But yeah, at least Zircon's made progress in the sense that, you know, Bor talks to her. Wow. Well, it's mostly a game of luck. Unless you know the person you're doing it against very well. But I guess you're just kind of showing off all the partners here. Nap time. Just call it what it is. Oh, he's awake. He's not asleep. How could this be? If I stay really still, she won't notice me. Yeah, good times. They'll be missed. They are missed. I miss them so much. But that was a really cool shot. I have a new job for you. Oh, her full name. That does make it serious. I really do love that design of the school. I don't know if I've said that before. So we were cliffhanger there. We don't even get to see what he would say. He was going to say. And it was probably important too. Hopefully that means they're confident in Season 2. Like, if it actually had an announcement at the end of these credits, like, Season 2 confirmed, I would probably just die. I had my water, but I was so sucked into the episode I forgot it existed. But yes, considering I wasn't expecting a super conclusive ending, I mean, I thought that was pretty good. Like, it felt like a final episode. It just felt like a final episode of something that would continue later on, eventually. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, Studio Orange really hit it out of the park with it, this one. I can't read many of those credits, but I can at least read that much. So that was the 12th and final episode of Houseki no Kuni. And it was a pretty great final episode. Pad Parisha did awake, but unfortunately it was a temporary awakening. And all she could really do was, talk a little bit, go for a brief walk, and that was it. So we did learn a little bit about her. Like, she doesn't want to feel like a burden because Rutiel is spending a lot of time. We heard about these several, 100 attempts or whatever of Rutiel trying to awaken her, and she doesn't want to feel like a burden. But at the end of the day, it is Rutiel's choice what she wants to do about that. So, but beyond that, the episode, we also had Bort and Zircon. Apparently, they're trying different people with Bort to see how that works out. And Zircon did. I mean, I guess she's making progress with Bort. Bort's just Bort. But I think the biggest thing with the episode is just Phos. We really know what her goal is now. She wants to learn more about the Lunarians, more about Kongo Sensei's affiliation with them, and all that. We had her like choking out one of them, trying to get information, until Cinnabar kind of interrupted. But yeah, now Phos. Apparently, the new work that she has for Cinnabar is to join up with her and help her with that quest, which Cinnabar was pretty happy about. I mean, she's probably happier than she was trying to let on. She was being really cute this episode, if I'm totally honest. But yeah, I feel like that if there is a second season, that's what it will focus on. Just, Phos's quest for Lunarian knowledge and Sensei knowledge and all that. Which is funny, because the job that Kongo Sensei initially gave to Phos was to make an encyclopedia, essentially gathering knowledge. And now Phos, of her own volition, is going on a similar quest for her own personal reasons. After Sensei, took that job away from her, the encyclopedia job away from her. So I find that interesting. And of course, there were some beautiful shots here and there in the show, which is, part of the course. So, my thoughts on the series as a whole. I absolutely love this anime. Like, it obviously took me a little bit of time to warm up to it, but once I did, I found myself just excited every time it came up. Like, the day that comes out, it was always the first anime I watched. I watched it. I loved it. I mean, this show, it actually threw a lot of characters at us pretty early, which is something I usually don't usually care for, which is obviously part of the reason why I didn't have a super great initial response to it. But there actually isn't that many characters when I really think about it, and I actually care about just about all of them, even though some of them don't get a whole lot of screen time. I still took the time to remember their names, learn about them, and get excited when they do get screen time. It's like, hey, this character's on screen. That kind of thing. And obviously, the main characters are pretty interesting. Like, Cinnabar is obviously a very deep character. She has her own troubles. Maybe a little bit emo-ish, but understandable when you literally, bleed poison, basically. Breathe poison. And to the point where you don't even want to go to your room. You just want to stay away from everyone as best you can. And don't even want to get your hopes up when somebody that wants to help you tells you that they want to help you. And Phos. Phos is a main character, like the protagonist. She's obviously had a huge amount of character development through the course of this series, even though it is only a 12-episode series. Of course, I wasn't sure how I felt about her initially, but she grew on me very quickly, and I just loved all of her silly shenanigans. But obviously, you could say that there's a lot of room for her to grow up there, even though I did enjoy her as a character. The others clearly had not a super great opinion of Phos. Like, we remember what happened after the snail ate Phos, Like, hey, this is such a great improvement. This is so much prettier than Phos, and just so much shade being thrown. Diamond was, like, the only one that seemed to actually want to help her. But, of course, Cinnabar helped her in her usual tsundere way. Because apparently nobody else could figure out that this giant shell that had green on it is what actually contained Phos. I still think that was a little bit weird, but, whatever. And just some really great animations throughout the series, like in that same episode, Diamond running through the trees, just fighting the snail. But of course, the best animation in the entire series was when Shiro attacked. Like, the animation, cinematography, I feel like the bulk of the budget for the show went on that episode. And it was great. So much so that the next episode actually felt a little bit disappointing just because the bar was raised so high. Like, they exhausted the budget so much they had to tone it down a little bit. I mean, I know the next episode didn't have as much action, so it's kind of silly to compare them to begin with, but I'm just saying, feeling-wise. And also, the world building was pretty good. Like, we had Phos. Phos was tricked by, Snail. I don't remember her name. But, to go into the sea as basically a bargaining chip to get her family back that had been taken to the moon. But luckily, she changed her mind. At that point in the series, I thought the series was going to be, Phos is kidnapped onto the moon. We see Phos' life on the moon. We see exactly what the Lunarians are all about. But the story didn't go in that direction. I still feel like the story could go in that direction at some points. But, it is what it is. And of course, back to Phos' character development. She lost her legs in that same snail incident, got some new ones, and suddenly she went from being completely useless to useful. And of course, there's always a trade-off there, because she kept losing memories. She kept losing pieces of who she is, literally and figuratively. And now she's gotten to the point where she barely resembles the person she initially was. Which is sad, because I love the person she initially was, but she is obviously much more useful to the school. And, even in this episode, they were kind of talking about being jealous of your old self, because you can't get that innocence back when it's gone. If you learn something, you can't unknow it, unless you can break off a convenient piece of yourself that had an unpleasant memory in it. But yes, I'm glad we went, full circle with the whole helping Cinnabar thing. In the first episode, Phos declared, hey, I'll find a new, better job for you. And in the last episode, Phos like, hey, I got a new job for you. It may or may not be better, but it is new, and it involves me, so that should make it better. Well, at least in my opinion, but my opinion is my opinion. And Konko-sensei, obviously we learned a little bit about him, like the fact that he apparently had a Lunarian pet, which brings up more questions than it does answers. And obviously, I don't think I mentioned this yet, but the Shiro actually disappeared when it was like found peace or something, as Sensei put it, so I don't know if that's something that applies to all Lunarians, or what that's really about, but yes, I feel like I probably talked about this a little bit too much, but yes, this has been a great series, and I cannot wait for Season 2 if it ever comes. If it doesn't come, I'm going to be quite sad. But yes, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10, so let me know what you thought of the anime. Wish that in my reaction in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.